Hey guys, so this is a slightly unusual movement practice that I'm going to share, and that's because I wanted to look at a key part of our nervous system and how it can affect us in terms of feeling clean and clear of things that are stressing us, any deep held trauma that's maybe stored somewhere inside the body, because most of it is stored in your belly. And that means that it can cause all kinds of digestive problems. You might not be absorbing minerals and vitamins and nutrients that you need in your diet, and that means you can either get really fat or you can lose weight, or your brain starts getting foggy and you're not getting clear thinking, and so you can't make good decisions. So many things are affected by that gut response when it's stressed, and that's because there's this vagus nerve, it's called, and it kind of hangs down here, like there's little tentacles, and the little tentacles go all out into your belly and all out into your belly, impacting all of the organs and everything that's going on in that nervous system. But there's also another key thing, which is that little vagus nerve is also going all the way up and into your brain. And that's the only nerve in your body that has that connection of brain and stomach. And when a lot of people talk about the depression and mental health side of things and that connection of the brain and the gut, this is a key part of that. So if your body hasn't processed deep trauma, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But there's a really simple thing that you can do, even if you're not really into movement practices and doing yoga, breath work and all of those things, which all help in their own ways. But this is just a really simple and I kind of think quite fun way to help you with moving through some of what that deep held stress and kind of deep trauma in the belly and how it impacts us. So the vagus nerve, it really likes a couple of different things to help you with stimulating it in a nice way where it can kind of move through the stuckness and that gripping, holding on fear that the nerves have when it's traumatized. So it all kind of goes and then it stops working and things stop flowing through. And what we're looking for is that vagus nerve to be like, and sending out those signals, brain, gut, all the time, just happily passing on through. And the nerve really likes chatting and singing and use of the voice. So you could sing to yourself if you want, and maybe you're someone who, I'm standing here in my bathroom. You could stand in the shower and have a lovely sing song to yourself. I don't mind what it sounds like, because I'm not going to hear it, but think about those you live with. But don't actually, just sing whatever it is that helps you feel good and move through it. And I would genuinely say, try to think about heartwarming, uplifting songs, because when we sing sad songs, it kind of activates that sadness in the nervous system and it perpetuates more of that negative cycle in the nervous system, and then it gets stuck again. So really try and think of happy songs that you can. So I like to sing, these are my favorite things from The Sound of Music, and I'm going to choose that for this exercise. The other thing that the nervous system really likes is that calming yoga breath that sounds a bit like Darth Vader, and just letting your hand rest on your belly and going for that really gentle because not only is it that belly action that starts to soothe the vagus nerve because it feels the belly is moving and therefore it feels like it can start to relax and move more, but also that stimulation of that slight constriction in the back of the throat with that Darth Vader sound is just going to really help to activate the throat. And that vagus nerve, remember, comes from here up to the brain, so we're helping stimulate that brain gut connection. The next thing that I want to address that it really enjoys you doing is any kind of gargling. So gargling's really good time of COVID days, useful to do things that help with our throat strength, because that's one of, the weak spots in terms of the illness, but also weak spot in terms of how people are feeling in terms of freedom of expression, right to be yourself, right to be heard, wearing masks, super kind of oppressive feeling psychologically for many of us. And so therefore we're feeling like our throat's really being suppressed. So super great to be doing throat work. And that's why I think the singing and the gargling are the two things. Now you can just gargle if you want, all by itself. Gargling with any kind of water is awesome, but if you do it with salt water and preferably pink Himalayan salt, that's going to be really cleansing for the throat. It helps clear out some of the bacteria and some of the gunk in the throat. But what's an even better way, I think, to combine it, and what's really fun and lifts my mood totally, and you can play with the songs, is to sing whilst gargling. Now, I've put in a few videos before of me gargling, but I just wanted to explain a little bit more about why I like sharing my gargling posts. I found myself that this practice is really useful when my nightmares are really bad, because I'm holding in the tension when I wake up in the morning of what's been going on in my brain, what's been going on in all of the world around me when I've been asleep, and there's often a lot of stress in my body. And so I want to be really releasing that when I wake up in the morning and lifting my mood and getting a bit more cheerful for my day. And so gargling in the morning is a really useful thing to do. And it's a lovely way to settle down for bed as well. Just kind of let go of the day and lift it. So obviously when it comes to gargling, you probably want like not even that much water. I would say kind of 2 centimeters, an inch max is what you're gonna really want. Make sure you put in your salt. I've already put mine in, and you're gonna give it a really nice swish and a stir. Make sure it's super all dissolved in there, so it's gonna be really good for you. Now, just work with the amount of water that works for you to start with, and you just might want to start with the gargling. Now, obviously, once I've got this in my mouth, I'm going to shut up. So, instructions will go out the window. And you are going to start with the gargling, and then if you want, you can start to sing your song. And today, I'm going for these are my favorite things. So, here we go, down the hatch. Now, spit out the water at the end. Obviously, if you're only doing salt water, fine, you can swallow it if you really want it, but it's much better if you can to let out whatever it is that was in that throat. And I don't know if you noticed, but during the middle of that video, I did point at my belly because I wanted you to understand that a key part of gargling and really moving the vagus nerve is pumping your belly as you're doing the gargling. And then really lift the chin, so you're opening that throat and allowing all of that to move through you. And those two things are super important in terms of really wanting to let the energy flow and really work with the healing of that sense of trauma in the belly. So I hope you found the explanation a little bit more helpful, and my tips on get it to just a little bit. You can still see I've got plenty of water, so I can do 2 rounds of gargling, which makes me much happier because I like to do 2 rounds. And you want to be thinking about using that belly. Really old school singing technique is using the diaphragm when you sing. So you've got this oh coming in from that belly, drawing in as you exhale, and that's what's going to really help you get the voice open. And then obviously with the gargling, the more you can tilt your head back, this is going to be a great one for correcting forward head posture, sitting at the desk. So getting that chin up is going to help you bring back the shoulders, get a little bit more openness in your heart, in the collarbones, and that's also so great for correcting that head posture, because that forward head posture is also part of the brain fog. It's also part of the depression because we're looking down, we're not looking up at the possibilities and the horizons ahead. So this has got so many elements that I could continue to talk much longer, but instead what I'm going to do is give you one more round of gargling, and then you guys can make sure you join me. So grab your water. And if you can, we'll go for another round of favorite things, because, you know, it's a cheerful, fun song, and it's all about lifting our spirits when things aren't going how we might want them to be going. So here we go.